How enterprises and XR Studio use the open source interactive creator to standardize and scale VR training. So this talk is mainly about how did we get to the point where are we today. And I want to start briefly introducing me. I'm the solutions engineer at Innoactive, and I'm basically the interface to our customers. I help the customers in any way whenever they want to integrate VR into their training processes and make use of VR. But I also have a academical background, so if you're interested in that, please visit my work or get in contact with me. But it's not about me. Innoactive is about all the people working there and about our clients. So we evolved iteratively. So we started to build hundreds of applications, AR applications, VR applications, a lot of training stuff, a lot of games, and we learned from our team, from our customers. And all of this ended up in these two products because we saw there is a need that helps us to build more application for less money. That's what it is all about. So we said, okay, one thing we need is a tool that helps us to create VR applications. That standardizes all the processes and that makes life easier. I will talk a lot about this today. And we also have the portal that helps us to distribute these applications. So as soon as I have a lot of applications, I need a tool that makes it easier for me to control what is happening with the applications, to make version controlling, to secure my applications, and I need to make it easier for my user to get access to that. One of the success stories, the scalability stories that made use of the portal is with Lindy. It's a very recent application, a recent story. If you want to have a look at the video that summarizes the highlights of it, here's a QR code. I hope you can see it. Take a screenshot, a picture, whatever. Take out your smartphone like this and get access. The main information is that they want to have 100% plant availability. So as soon as they deliver an oil and gas plant, they want to deliver VR training because they can easily get their training applications to their clients and prepare them ideally for their very hard work. Another story is one of our oldest partners and customers, Volkswagen Group. They train already thousands of people with VR over a lot of different locations. And they also have a lot of studios already working for them. So their process of creating these VR training applications is getting to scale. And what they realized is, okay, on the old traditional way with Excel tables, emails, and whatever, it's really, really hard to get everything under control and distribute it over different partners working on it. So they needed a way to standardize it. And this basically is the Innoactive Creator. And then the portal is the thing that helps the tool that helps them to distribute it to their workers. Another story is by Aeroground Munich. They are an earlier phase. VW is really, really, really far ahead. So appreciation for sharing all their knowledge with us. They have trained some 100 people, and what they found is it's really cool. People love it, and you save a lot of money because you don't have to block whole airplanes and runways. And the other thing is, 95% of the trainees they have would recommend the training in VR because they really like it. That's what we always face. They love to be trained in VR instead of reading PDF files the whole day. So, but how did we come there? We have some creation pains, and the one is setting up a scene. So how do I actually get 3D models into a virtual reality ready scene? And we said, that's not really the interesting question. There's a lot of companies out there taking care for this question. So we are not going to touch that. But we found a lot of other issues. And that is coming from the first point of contact. There's a trainer who wants to use VR, and there's a developer who knows how to build VR. And they now have to build together a training applications. And it's really hard to get them communicating in the right way. So there needs to be a way where both of them can work on this VR training application. This third step is to usually, when you go through this process, you need to define your concept. So as soon as you know what you want to build, you need to know how you want to build it. How does it look? How does it feel like? What is the highlight? How do I make interaction with VR? How do I define that? It might be easy for a developer, but the developer doesn't really know how people work. So the trainer knows how people work. So they, again, have to communicate a lot and build this together. And this is a tricky thing to communicate, how you define a rep with just one button. The fourth step is always aligning on efforts. So how much work is it at the end to build an application? And we know most of the time it was a lot. The fifth step you will go to is implement, review, and iterate. So as soon as you have all these small bricks and you want to put them together, you will find there's a lot of misunderstandings and you will have to iterate. And in the past, we didn't have tools that supported that. So sometimes we had to build things from scratch because they just didn't work out as we intended them to do. And now think about this iteration and doing all the stuff in communication 30 times for 30 apps. But the reality is you want to build hundreds of apps. So tools were needed. And in this case, we talk about the Innoactive Creator. And the Creator is the thing that helps us to solve these issues. So as I said, step one is another issue. We can also help out with that, but we focus on step two, transferring of know-how. And the main concept on this, there's little bit everywhere, but the main concept is this visual editor within Unity. So instead of writing code, we get the trainer, the subject matter expert, the one who's actually training the workers on board, and give him an interface where he at least can manipulate and change training workflows. Ideally, the trainer will build the workflow. Third step, defining the concept. In the early days, we had to negotiate a lot from project to project because we had a lot of things floating around, a lot of scripts, a lot of information. And what we needed was something that combines everything. And that's what we call the template approach. So in our case, in our Innoactive Creator template, we define how we visualize stuff, how we give feedback in a virtual environment, how we highlight objects that needs to be grabbed, how you interact, for example, teleport in the virtual world, but also how you display information to an external person. So a trainer standing next to a trainee wearing a headset. This is what we call the template. And if you start working on this, you will find the need that you want to store your ideas in this template. But we will see more in the demo. Aligning on efforts is something interesting because as soon as you have the creator, you get some security in your process of building stuff. So actually what you could do at the end, if you get more and more into it, you can simply count how many steps you have to create and then estimate how much the training creation process will cost. And finally, implement, review, iterate. Usually after building 2, 3, or 4 applications, this implement, review, iterate will be minimized to the smallest increment. And combined with the template, it's defined. The training is defined. You only need the 3D geometry to build the whole training. We already had this question about who actually is building that. So I already explained, okay, there's different roles in your project. And what we envision is this template approach. So you have a base template that we give to you. So you can easily start with creating trainings. But at some point, you will find, okay, I want to have other colors. I want to have other interaction metaphors, whatever. Then you will ask the developer to build up on our base template within our customization framework. And he will adapt things to your needs, to your company's needs. But the good thing is the developer will only have to do it once. He's not building application by application. He only builds the tools that enable you as a training designer to build these applications. And that makes it very effective. And finally, we have this visual workflow editor that gets the trainer back in the loop, and you don't have these iterations while creating training workflows, because the trainer now can do it on its own and doesn't have to try and then feedback that something is wrong and then try again and feedback that something is wrong. So let's have a quick look at the live demo. What you can see here is Unity. So we support Unity 2019.4. So we always try to go for the latest long-term support version. And what you can see here is a real-world example. So this also comes from Volkswagen. We already have seen this in another talk from today. And it's a commissioning task where you have to interact with an SAP system and then commission these gears into a box and then ship them. And as you can see here, there's a lot of steps already involved. And this is the good thing, because we can already see what is going on. We have an overview. If you only have code, you don't have this overview. You have to go through code and find out what's the process. Here's anybody can understand what's happening. First, there's introduction. Somebody gets introduced to something. Then you have to start the process. You have to click this button. And I would like to actually create the start process step, because it shows a lot of our concepts. So the first thing is I can easily change stuff. It's just with mouse clicks, no advanced interaction needed, and I have created a step. I could even create 2 steps. So if I say, okay, there's 2 possible passes to go from the introduction to the following step where we want to print the label that we have to put on the box, I can do this very easily, and I can even do it when the training already exists. I'm not going to do this now. I just show you that there's the possibility to build something really, really complex if you want to. So now let's have a look into this building block step. I would call it start process. So we find along in our workflow editor. And what you can see here is that we have something that's called behaviors and something that's called transitions. Behaviors is basically everything that's happening in the 3D world that guides the user at the end through the training. So some kind of animation, highlights, whatever. Or what it could also be, and what you can see here is this base template I talk about. So this definition of the look and feel is a text-to-speech option. This is one component we already give to you with the creator. So it helps you a lot. And what is always our goal is, first, we want to scale. And I want to show you 3 things on this. And the first is scaling with text-to-speech. What I can do here is I simply type in start process. This is a key, and as you can see here, it already puts some text in the default text field. Because in the background, I have multiple language files that all include this key value and a text and regarding language. So English, German, Spanish, whatever. The good thing is, what some of our clients do is they write this information, this audio that needs to be heard by the user, the HMD user, once in one language, then auto-translate it into 25 different languages, and then simply put these files into the backend. And with simply using start process, you have a training built in 25 different languages. The second interesting thing of this is the Innoactive Creator is not open source, not only open source, it's also modularized. So in our case, we are using Cortana to render the speech, to synthesize the speech. But you could also use Google or Amazon, because everything is modularized. You can just take it out and plug in whatever you want. We already implemented this in the text-to-speech example for you, so you can already switch between these 3 I just talked about. So now we informed the trainee what to do. Now we have to check if the trainee is doing the right thing. So we can add so-called conditions. So they simply tell me when to transition from this knot to the next step. And what we want to have here is we want a touch object. Again, touching an object is already part of our base template. And now I want to show you how simple it is. So we have the start process here. And all I need to do is I drag and drop it in here. That's all I need to do. So in this case, I see I didn't delete information. So let's take this button and see what happens. Yes. So now I have taken this button, and as you can see here, there is some information missing. And that's what the creator is doing for you. It constantly checks, does the object have all information to be a training scene object, to be interactable? So you don't have to care about it. You just recognize, okay, I want to change this object. Zack, now it's interactive and it's a training scene object. And this is all we have to do. I just press now play. And now we can see the view user, so maybe a trainer, and the menu he's got. Again, this menu is part of our template. If you need different functionalities, different look and feel, change it. Here you can already see, okay, there's the language I can change. I could start in different chapters if I want to, because the creator actually is a state machine. So if you want to start further in the process, you simply go in the next chapter, and the scene will change to the situation that you need in the chapter. Then you press start, and now I get audio, what we just talked about, the introduction to the scene, and I can actually jump through the different steps, and you could see that the label was printed. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. This process is stored in a file in the backend, so you can reuse it, you can share it. I like working with it. So let's go back to the presentation. So we had the live demo. So to summarize, we want to establish standards. So you can distribute your training creation, for example, that you make it easier and faster to create trainings, but you are still flexible, so you can adapt it to your needs. It's rapid creation and easy to maintain and change. So even if after some time you want to exchange an interaction framework, for example, it's a little techy, you can easily do it and update your applications, because the creator is the foundation, creates the standard to ensure that it's possible. And you can reuse logic across project teams. So this is where you get faster and faster by creating more and more apps. Further, I wanted to talk about the portal a little bit. I'll make it very short. The portal is pretty straightforward. So it's a Netflix-style interface that provides easy access. So I can, on this desktop application, simply press download to fetch an application to my PC, to my local PC. I can watch it being downloaded, and then I can plug in my headset and press start. That's all I have to do. So that's really, really handy to distribute your applications to a large audience with maybe limited knowledge about PCs or virtual reality applications. It's secure, so we make sure that your data can't be used without your authentication. And it's a branded experience. So in this case, you can see the Linde example and the Linde branding to it. But if your needs for text and colors are different, you can totally do that. I already showed this video in the last talk, simply to give you an idea what your user will see. So you start your application, you log in. You may want to install an app, then it's downloading the app, and all you have to do then is launch. This is an older application. You can see it because it will still show an authentication window. I like it because it gives you some kind of idea that in the background there's an authentication happening. In the current user story, your customers doesn't see this authentication step, but it still happens in the background. Okay, so this was a brief overview on the whole topic. I would like now to unshare my screen and hand over to Gustavo.
Hello, can you hear me well? Christian, can you hear me? Perfect. Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Gustavo Quiroz. I'm a software developer at Innoactive, and I'm really happy to be here because I'm about to talk to you about our proposal for open source, for the open source community that we have. So the thing is that earlier this year, we released the source code of the creator, and I'm about to share my screen, 1 second. Perfect. Why did we do that? Well, the thing is that we want to help scaling the development of VR training applications, and we cannot do it alone. We need feedback from our users, and we also need help from the community, right? And well, what does this mean? How could this impact your developments? Well, this means that you can not only use the creator community version for free, but you can also contribute with us by providing feedback, by using the tool. Actually, the most important thing, and probably the most important thing for us, it will be for you to use the tool. And it's very easy to do it by just going into this link, innoactive.de/creator, and downloading the creator, start using it. If you already have a VR ready PC and probably Unity install, you could probably do it in less than 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know. It's real simple. You will download a Unity package that will contain everything for you to get started, including some examples. What does the creator actually contain? Well, from a architectural point of view, the creator actually contains several submodules. Some are very specific for some scenarios, like for example, the one that it's for text-to-speech, as Christian already showed you. We have others for some other elements, like for example, the best template, that it's an example that we have for customizing your template, as also Christian already said. But this creates a lot of flexibility. Like, for example, some of you may be related to VRTK or the Unity XR interaction framework. These are VR frameworks that help you get started or actually interact in VR with your application, and you develop on top of those. The creator is so flexible that you can just remove any of those and start working with the other, or either replacing one of those two and implement any other. Let's say use the Oculus integration or the HTC One, or let's go further. Let's imagine that there's a company with a need of AR training, right? Well, you can still use the creator by just replacing these two and implementing the AR submodule. So as you can see, this gives a lot of certainty for the future. It also makes the creator really independent from providers, either for hardware and software, and really help you with maintenance of your VR training application, between others, of course. Let's show you now what do we mean with open source. So for the ones of you that are related or are familiar with GitHub, well, you know that this is the, let's say, preferred platform for open source projects. Well, we have this set of repositories that are completely free for everyone to just join. It's really easy to find them. You just have to go to github/innoactive/creator, or just find it in GitHub as Innoactive or creator. You will see not only the repository for the creator, but for all, as you can see here in our README file, all the submodules that we are actually working on. 1 second, please. Yes. And we are really transparent and open with this. You can actually see the development on real time, almost real time, of course. You can contribute with us by going to the issue sections and creating a new issue. It could be either a book report or a feature request. So it's real easy to actually contribute in the development of the creator. So far, if you are very enthusiastic, you could also go further and extend the capabilities of the creator, either by fixing a bug or implementing another feature. And we enable these repositories for contributions. So this means that you can create a pull request and we could integrate it if you are so kind that you want to contribute and you want to also share this with the community. As you can see, it's real easy and real open. Not only we benefit, but all benefit together at the same time. We also provide a platform like this, Spectrum Chat. In this platform, we intend for, probably it will be better seen in full screen. This is an open platform for communication. It is very important for us to hear you, and we think that it is also very important for you to get free resources. So we provide this platform where you can just join, say hi, or either ask questions, get answers, or just get, let's say, for example, some articles that we publish in here, right? Well, we are really happy to invite you all to get into the community, to join it in the open source repositories, or just by using the creator.